Hey Raiders Nation, we've got a lot to unpack today because the situation in Las Vegas is heating up and there's plenty of chatter about the future of the head coach position. Right now, Pete Carroll is under the microscope. The team's record has been far below expectations, and whispers around the league suggest that his time in Vegas could be very short. Carroll was not supposed to be anywhere close to the hot seat, and yet here we are with the Raiders struggling at 2-8. No one saw this coming, and the front office is clearly evaluating the situation and weighing every possible option. Loyalty seems to be divided, with many within the Raiders' upper management holding John Spyatek in higher regard than the current coaching staff. It's becoming clear that Carroll was not even the first choice for the position. There were other candidates on the radar, and now, with the team underperforming, it's entirely possible that his tenure might end after just one season. From a purely analytical standpoint, considering the state of the team, a one-and-done scenario for Carroll would not be shocking. And honestly, for fans looking for a fresh direction, it could be the shake-up the Raiders desperately need. Now, let's shift gears and talk about potential replacements, starting with defensive-minded candidates. If the Raiders decide to pivot towards someone who builds from the defensive side of the ball, there are a few standout names that come to mind. Jesse Minter, currently the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, has been turning heads with his scheme and adaptability. At just 42, he already has experience as Michigan's defensive coordinator, where his alignment with notable figures like John Spyatek and connections to championship-caliber teams add to his credibility. The Chargers' defense has managed to hold its own despite numerous injuries, allowing just over 20 points per game, ranking among the top defenses in the league. Minter brings a combination of youth, innovation, and experience that could seamlessly translate to a head coaching role in Las Vegas, and stealing a promising coach from a division rival is always a bonus. Another defensive option worth considering is Brian Flores, who serves as the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Flores brings a more aggressive approach to defense, applying consistent pressure and forcing mistakes from opposing offenses. He's been a defensive coordinator in Minnesota since 2023 and previously held head coaching experience, which gives him a blend of tactical expertise and leadership. Despite a complicated history involving past friction with Tom Brady, it seems they have reconciled, meaning Flores' experience and knowledge of high-level offensive play could complement the Raiders' rebuilding efforts. Chris Shula is another compelling defensive candidate. Working under Sean McVay with the Rams, Shula has overseen a defense that is both highly efficient and cost-effective, allowing just over 17 points per game, ranking second in the league. His experience stretches back to playing and coaching college football, and his ability to maximize talent from underappreciated players demonstrates an eye for development that could benefit the Raiders. Additionally, Jeff Hafley, currently leading Green Bay's defense, is a name that has been quietly rising in conversation. With Green Bay's recent success in developing talent and extracting peak performance from players, Hafley's experience and approach could offer a blueprint for the Raiders to rebuild from the back end. Steve Spagnuolo, Kansas City's defensive coordinator, has a long and decorated history, including multiple Super Bowl wins as a coordinator. While his record as a head coach hasn't been stellar, his deep knowledge and championship pedigree could appeal to ownership if they value experience and a proven resume. Switching focus to offensive candidates, the Raiders' future could very well hinge on finding a fresh, innovative offensive mind. The team needs someone who can balance a modern passing game with a strong emphasis on running the football. Clint Kubiak, currently the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, has been doing exactly that, orchestrating a dynamic, high-scoring offense that ranks among the top in the league. Kubiak emphasizes balance, under center play and play-action schemes that maximize the running game, and his connections to successful NFL coaching trees make him an ideal candidate to lead a franchise looking for stability and innovation. Another name that deserves consideration is Wes Phillips, who has been involved with several organizations and brings experience from coaching under Kevin O'Connell. His track record of developing quarterbacks in Minnesota, even in less than ideal circumstances, shows his capability to manage talent and build offensive schemes that adapt to the strengths of his roster. Mike McDaniel, while having mixed results as a head coach, has consistently demonstrated his ability to build strong, productive offenses, particularly in Miami, where his focus on the running game and overall offensive execution has been impressive. Joe Brady, known for his work with the Buffalo Bills and formerly with LSU alongside Joe Burrow, represents another young, innovative option. He has a history of maximizing quarterback performance and offensive potential, and if the Raiders are looking to energize their passing game while integrating high-level strategic planning, he could be a strong fit. Brian Daboll, previously of the New York Giants, also brings experience in developing quarterbacks like Josh Allen, making him an intriguing option if the Raiders intend to draft and develop a new signal caller. His ability to nurture young talent and design a functional offensive system could be crucial for a franchise seeking immediate improvement at the quarterback position. Finally, seasoned veterans like Mike McCarthy remain relevant due to their proven NFL track record, experience in leading successful teams, and ability to bring structure and stability to a struggling roster. Across both sides of the ball, the Raiders have a complex decision to make. Whether the next head coach comes from a defensive or offensive background, the overarching goal will be to find someone capable of blending innovation, adaptability, and the ability to extract maximum performance from the current roster. The team's underwhelming performance this season has accelerated these conversations, making it one of the most critical periods in recent Raiders history. Fans are watching closely, and every rumor, every potential candidate, and every front office discussion will be scrutinized because the next hire could define the trajectory of the team for years to come. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about philosophy, vision, and the ability to put Las Vegas back on the map as a competitive force in the league. As we continue breaking down the potential head coaching candidates for the Raiders, it becomes increasingly clear that the team is at a crossroads. The decision between a defensive-minded coach or an offensive innovator is not just about style. It's about the philosophy that will drive the organization for the next decade. On the defensive side, we've seen names like Jesse Minter, Brian Flores, Chris Shula, and Jeff Hafley rise to prominence, each bringing a unique approach. Minter's young, strategic vision could inject energy and adaptability into a defense that has struggled with consistency, while Flores offers a hard-hitting, aggressive philosophy that could completely reshape how opposing offenses approach the Raiders. Shula's experience under Sean McVay demonstrates his ability to optimize talent and implement schemes that outperform expectations, particularly with limited resources, and Hafley's development of Green Bay's defense shows a knack for turning overlooked players into game changers. Even Steve Spagnuolo, despite a mixed head coaching record, carries the allure of championship pedigree and strategic depth that could stabilize a franchise in transition. The front office's priorities, however, will ultimately determine whether they prioritize long-term innovation or lean on experience and familiarity, and that decision will reverberate throughout the locker room and across the league. Turning to offensive options, the narrative becomes equally compelling. Clint Kubiak, with his balance of modern creativity and traditional, under-center football, represents exactly what the Raiders need to establish a consistent and effective offensive identity. His offense in Seattle has been both explosive and controlled, achieving a rare combination of efficiency and adaptability, which is precisely what a team like Las Vegas requires after a season of unpredictability. Kubiak emphasizes the running game as the foundation for play-action success, teaching quarterbacks to make decisions under pressure while maintaining rhythm and flow. In essence, his philosophy could stabilize a struggling offense and allow the Raiders to develop young talent while keeping veteran players engaged. Wes Phillips, on the other hand, brings a slightly different flavor, shaped by his work under Kevin O'Connell and his experience coaching young quarterbacks. His ability to identify strengths and weaknesses in the roster and tailor a system around them makes him a versatile option, particularly if the Raiders plan to draft or integrate new talent into their offensive scheme. Mike McDaniel, despite the concerns surrounding his head coaching record, remains an intriguing choice because of his proven expertise as an offensive architect. In Miami, McDaniel consistently built effective rushing attacks while integrating complex play-action schemes, demonstrating his ability to adapt to the personnel at hand. A McDaniel-led Raiders offense could significantly elevate the development of emerging quarterbacks like Ashton Gentry, creating opportunities for a balanced, dynamic attack that maximizes both the run and the pass. Joe Brady represents the younger, high-risk, high-reward approach. His work with LSU and the Buffalo Bills illustrates a capacity to develop elite passing attacks and implement innovative schemes that challenge defensive coordinators across the league. Brady's offensive acumen could accelerate the growth of any quarterback the Raiders invest in, making him a valuable option for a team looking to modernize its approach. Brian Daboll offers another layer of strategic depth, particularly if the Raiders are eyeing a draft quarterback. Daboll has shown a remarkable ability to manage elite young talent, shaping the growth of quarterbacks like Josh Allen and refining offensive systems to complement their strengths. His experience could be crucial for a franchise in need of long-term quarterback development, ensuring that any rookie drafted into the system is set up for success from the very first snap. Meanwhile, veterans like Mike McCarthy offer the steady hand and experience that might appeal to ownership looking for reliability and proven leadership. McCarthy's track record in Dallas, Green Bay, and beyond demonstrates his ability to manage both high-pressure environments and star-studded rosters, a skill set that could help stabilize the Raiders while a longer-term vision is put into place. Beyond individual names, the Raiders' overall strategy must account for culture, philosophy, and organizational alignment. The ideal head coach will need to work hand-in-hand with John Spyatek and the front office to define the identity of the team. Whether it's a defensive-minded coach emphasizing discipline, aggressive schemes, and turnover generation, or an offensive innovator building a balanced, high-tempo attack, alignment between the coaching staff and management is critical. The Raiders roster has unique strengths and weaknesses, from emerging talent to veteran presence, and the next head coach must be capable of evaluating these assets, adjusting schemes accordingly, and developing a cohesive system that allows every player to maximize their potential. The front office's loyalty to Spyatek also suggests that any incoming coach, whether offensive or defensive, must have the ability to integrate with existing strategies and leverage advanced analytics. Modern football is as much about data, preparation, and matchup exploitation as it is about raw talent, and the Raiders' next leader will need to embrace both the traditional and the analytical sides of the game. This balancing act requires not just tactical knowledge, but also leadership and communication skills, ensuring that players understand their roles and responsibilities while maintaining motivation and accountability throughout the season. Offensive continuity is equally critical. If the Raiders want to establish a strong, repeatable system, the head coach must be capable of developing a quarterback-friendly environment, designing an adaptable offensive line strategy, and integrating skill position players into schemes that maximize both talent and matchup advantages. The ideal candidate will also need to manage in-game adjustments, clock management, and situational decision-making, ensuring that every aspect of the offense contributes to the team's overall performance. This requires experience, creativity, and the ability to collaborate effectively with coordinators, position coaches, and front office personnel to build a cohesive, winning formula. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been swirling through the league all week, but now the buzz has turned into a full-blown storm. Sauce Gardner has been unveiled by the Las Vegas Raiders, and the desert air suddenly feels a lot heavier for opposing quarterbacks. The moment Gardner stepped into the facility, conversations shifted from cautious optimism to outright excitement, the kind that makes fans refresh their feeds every few minutes just to be sure it's all real. Observers close to the organization insist this wasn't just a splash move, it was a statement. Gardner arrives carrying the aura of a shutdown corner, the type whose presence alone changes offensive game plans. And in a Raiders secondary hungry for an identity, his arrival feels like the missing piece sliding perfectly into place. Coaches have reportedly been almost giddy discussing the possibilities, hinting at a defensive strategy that might finally carry the swagger the team has been chasing. Teammates, too, seem energized. Early locker room chatter suggests that Gardner's confidence is already rubbing off on the group, setting a tone that hasn't been felt in quite some time. Elite is the word people keep repeating, sometimes quietly, sometimes with a grin. It's as if his reputation followed him through the doors and immediately lifted the room. Of course, nothing is official until the pads come on and the snaps get real, but the early murmur around the league is unmistakable. The Raiders' secondary might be entering a new era. Opponents are reportedly reevaluating their approach. Analysts are dissecting every clip they can find, and fans are daring to dream bigger than they have in years. No one knows exactly how this move will reshape the season, but one thing is certain. The Raiders just added a star who thrives on an island, and the chorus of excitement is only getting louder. Whether it becomes legendary or just another offseason storyline remains to be seen, but for now, the rumor mill is running wild, and the Raiders' defense suddenly looks a lot more dangerous. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.